is going on, guys? Can you hear me okay? Hopefully you can. I've been dealing with a bunch of audio issues, man. It seems like every stream I'm dealing with something, but we are here. What's going on, chat? What's going on? Going to a card show. Any tips on what to bring? I don't have a table, but trades and stuff. Well, it sounds like you're more or less there. Just bring all your good stuff that you want, or stuff that you're willing to trade away, because people are going to ask. If you bring the good stuff, people are going to want the good stuff. So just keep that in mind. But trades are an excellent way to offset some big costs. So what's going on, chat? Hopefully you guys are having a good Wednesday, episode 61. Doth approacheth. What up, what up? So, yeah. We're just going to get right into it, because we got a lot to go through today. We have a pretty maxed list for today. Probably going to go over some topics if we have some time. One of the things I am interested in talking about a little bit more tonight would be talking about some trade night stuff. Probably play some ranked in Pocket. I've been trying to grind that like crazy. I'm not sure what people with tables will be looking for. Just think of popular stuff. You know, me as a vendor, I always look for stuff that I know will move well. But you shouldn't really worry about that. Just bring stuff that you're comfortable bringing. And more importantly, bring things that you're comfortable trading away if they ask. There's really no... You'll never know what people are going to want or what not, or what they won't want. Unless you just bring what you're willing to trade. Alright, so as promised from last week, we hit the 10k follower, or not 10k follower, 10k like goal from TikTok last week. So we're going to be doing our first drawing. So like I said, we're going to be doing this every time we hit the threshold. This week is 15k. So this week, we're going to be drawing last week's initiative. So we're just going to get right into it. First, we're going to be drawing the winner. Mike, it seems like you win literally every single one. So there you go. You won again, Mike. Congratulations. That's what happens, man. I give these giveaways, and not a lot of people join them. And so if you want to join, Mike is just racking up the free stuff, to be quite honest with you. So if you guys want free stuff, man, just join the giveaway. So now we get to do a little fun click to spin here. So let me just move that here. So now we get to see what you win. Could range from a free t-shirt, could win some cards, some stickers. Yeah. So if you guys want to have another giveaway, the next one is going to be 15k likes. So if we hit 15k likes over on TikTok, the next giveaway will launch. So let's give it a spin. Let's see what you get, Mike. And you get a card from the $2 binder, my friend. So I already know your address because I already shipped you a bunch of stuff. So I'll give you a cool card from the $2 binder. Thanks again for entering, and keep on winning some free stuff, man. So let me just jot that down real quick. Let's see. I got too many damn notepads to chat. I got way too many. Well, honestly, man, people just have to submit. I mean, really the only thing, because customs is annoying that it is the United States only, because shipping to Canada, shipping outside of the US is just a pain, especially for free stuff. Like, I'd have to pay more in shipping out of the States. Pokemon Boy, what's going on? So Mike, I have to send you a $2 card. All right. I do giveies, yep. We just drew last week's winner for hitting 15k likes on or 10k likes on TikTok. So this week is targeted for 15k. So again, congratulations, Mike, on winning even more stuff. If you guys want to participate, the links will be available, both Discord and my link tree. So definitely keep tabs on that, guys. All right. So now it is the moment of truth. The infamous grade review. And where did it go? And why are you downloading? Well, while I'm trying to figure out even more here, there is the subscriber giveaway that is exclusive to Discord subscribers. I don't know why I can't talk already. So this is drawing in the next 2 weeks, so this has started. So this month's prize for subscribers is a technically sealed gold metal Pikachu promo from the Ultra Premium Collection. Pokemon Boy, thank you for the follow. So if you guys want to enter into the monthly giveaway for this, this is the subscribers only. Any of these links, Cadet, Pilot, or General, will guide you to the Discord if you want to sub there. Again, that is something I like to give back to those who subscribe. There is a monthly giveaway at the beginning of each month. So, man, I don't know why these are downloading. Try this. This is really annoying. I don't know what it is today, chat. It's just like open in browser. I don't know why it won't let me open the browser. One sec, chat. Today is just not going my day. So just bear with me 1 second. Normally, I should just be able to... We're just gonna do this. We're gonna close Discord. Go to just chatting. What's going on? And we're gonna try it again. Because I should be able just to... Nope, it just keeps downloading. I don't know why it's doing that. Let's do this. Man, it is just still downloading. I really hope that's not what I have to do. That's going to be extremely annoying. Bear with me 1 second, chat. Because normally how this works is that I just click the card. There we go. Is it now working after I have to do all this crap? Now it works? Man, this stream is scuffed. This stream is scuffed, chat. Alright, so we have the Dragonite, we have the Lugia, we have the Charizard, but this Giratina, for whatever reason, is just not wanting to open up. Alright, we'll make it work. We'll have to do it this way. We'll have to do a little bit of some manipulation here. All right, so it's a little bit scuffed, but we're gonna have to make it work here. So we'll have that be down here, and then that one's the back of that. Okay, so for whatever reason, I had to download this one, but we're gonna make it work. All right, chat. Without further ado, we're gonna keep just pushing forward here. It's gonna be one of those streams. So welcome. If this is your first time, my name is Galaxy Gaming, and in this series, what we do is called Grade Review. So this is my way of providing educational content for the community on how to properly grade and assess cards, especially with how hot the market is. Everyone is trying to get a slice of the pie, and my objective is to teach you and train you guys on what to look for when you're trying to look for PSA grading plays, whether it's for cards that you already own or if you're out there in local gaming stores or shows or anything like that. Your eye needs to be sharp to try to find those potential PSA 10 plays. So These pictures come from Discord members. So Discord members have submitted their cards throughout the weeks, months, and have allowed me to review these cards and give my assessment with what I think these cards would get. I've been doing this since 2017. I don't work for any grading company. However, I've been keeping track of my accuracy since then. And so all the lessons learned ultimately kind of boils down to what you are about to see tonight. So again, if you guys want to participate as well, I normally allow chat to grade as well. Once we hit 15 or more concurrent viewers, both on YouTube and TikTok, I'm streaming to both. So if you want a different experience, I'm also streaming over on YouTube. And as I said before, we're already at 2.8K likes, which I appreciate very much. Once we hit 15K likes, the giveaway for the week will be unlocked. So we just did the drawing for last week's, which was 10K. We hit that really quick. So I decided to bump it up a little bit, give you guys a little bit of a challenge. And so Mike was the winner of this week. And again, the giveaway will unlock once we hit 15K likes on TikTok. So the more you guys help me out, the faster we can get to that goal. So without further ado, we're just going to get right into it. So first off, we have the Giratina V, Japanese. So the 4 things that we're looking at is centering, corners, edges, and surface. However, for modern, we traditionally look at centering and corners. Those are the biggest issues that plagues modern. So let us take a look. So we're going to zoom in just a tad here. So the centering is good. So how we measure centering is we look at the silver border and we measure what's called the ratio. So the distance on the left and to the right. This one looks very well centered. And with new PSA centering policy on the front, we need to have what's called 55-45 or 50-50 ratio, both top, bottom, left, and right. And this one does appear to be that, so I'm not too worried about that. And as we flip it over, this one also looks very well centered. So the one thing that we are looking for in terms of Japanese, some people have asked me in the past how I measure centering on the back, as you can see a little bit that it starts to get a little kind of bleed or fade towards the edge here. So where I'm about to make my pen mark, so if I start here and over right about there, right about where it starts to get more blue, that's where I ultimately measure the centering for the back. Bobby, thank you for the follow. So with that being said, the centering on the back looks really good. And I think, Mike, you already answered one of my questions about this bottom right side. And one of the tools that you will be seeing me use tonight is a magnifier tool, so I can really zoom in and help you guys see what I see. So Mike is saying that the bottom right is not a ding, it's clean, that is light. So if that is the case, my friend, I don't see anything majorly wrong with the corners. All 4 corners look good. So top right, top left, bottom left, and bottom right look great. So I think this is a pretty good shot at that 10, my friend. So I think you picked up a pretty good one. That's for sure. Up next, we have the Dragonite from Fossil. So let's take a look. So on this one, like I was talking about with the centering with the Giratina, this one appears to be a little off center. And before I continue, and while I take an excuse to drink my coffee, does anyone want to guess where the off centering is? If you were new to how to center or what to look for when centering, I'll let you guys weigh in and chat to see if you see what I possibly see. Yep. Bobby and Aaron and Earl, you're all correct. So what we are seeing on this Dragonite is the bottom is slightly thicker than the top. So this is what I do when I measure centering. So you can do this with any card that you have. What I'm about to do isn't necessarily full on accurate because I'm doing it on a monitor. I don't have the card in front of me and it is a little bit curved from the picture. So you'll have to kind of bear with me, but this is what I would do if you're really trying to measure and really try to be accurate with measuring. So first, you just take a ruler. In this case, I'm just going to reference these as hash marks. Just makes it a little bit easier to articulate. So if I pick my color here, so first we're going to start at the bottom and work our way up. So just like that, and then we first count how many hash marks. So we have, starting from the main inch mark, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tick marks, probably 5.5 tick marks on the bottom. So 5.5 on the bottom if we go all the way to the top. Okay, we do the same thing. So 5.5 on the bottom, and we're gonna go right about there. So we're gonna go 1, 2, 3. So 3 on the top. So we do 5.5 plus 3. So overall, that's our total from the bottom to the top. So now how you determine ratio is we are going to have the 5.5 to the bottom divided by the sum of the two. So we roughly have 65. So 64, 7, so I round that up to 65. So if we do 65 minus 100, so we have 65-35 ratio. So that's what that means. So if we go back over here, and if I were to write on this card specifically, so we have 65 on the bottom and about 35 on the top. So just from the centering from the top to the bottom, it is off center to the point where you would not be getting the 10. In fact, you're probably already getting into that 9 to 8 range just from the centering alone on the front side. But with that aside, we also have to look at the corners and edges. Corners so far look good. Nothing to be worried about. The only thing I see, which I think you also have a different angle, which you do, is we have a little bit what appears to be some ink removed from the tip of that tail there. So let's zoom in a tad here. And so take a little bit more magnification here. So we're really kind of looking at any scratches on the hollow itself. So we have a little bit on the bottom here. We have a little bit kind of at the base of the tail. So I think so far, so right now we have 11. So far we're already, just from the front, we're already kind of in that 8 to 7 range from the scratches and it being so off center. Beautiful swirl though, by the way, on the, near that tail or near the wing there. So as we flip it over, this is where it starts to get a little bit worse. So again, centering is the same on the bottom to the top in terms of being off center. Top right corner looks a little bit whitened, but not too bad. But as we kind of go counterclockwise here, so the top left corner, oh yeah, big swirl guy for sure. We got some pretty notable whitening on this left edge, so we're definitely starting to kind of get to that 8 to even 7 range. And this left corner, bottom left corner, is pretty significant in terms of whitening. So that will definitely kind of knock us out of that 8 and probably into that 7 range, just from that one. This left edge and that bottom left corner, we're already starting to get to that 7. A little bit of whitening on that right side and minimal corner whitening on the bottom right. But aside from that, the surface from this angle appears to be pretty okay. And so let's see. So we do not have enough for chat grade. So again, if you guys want to weigh in, we need to have at least 15 or more concurrent viewers, both on YouTube and TikTok. So to speed things along, I'm going to do my assessment on that Dragonite. If you guys want to help me out, again, make sure to like, share the live. In addition, if we hit 15K likes on TikTok, the weekly giveaway will open. So it's another incentive for you guys as well. So I'd say with the Dragonite, again, I think with the front specifically, the centering and the scratches, we're already kind of at an 8. But as we flip it over, we're starting to get into that near mint to even light play plus range. But I think from PSA standards in terms of grading, since the surface on the back looks really good, from what I can tell from this picture, you're probably looking at a 7. 7 to 6, but I don't think the scratches, I don't think there's really a lot of scratches that I can tell that would lower the score even further. If there were anything more notable, I'd probably start to get towards like 7 or 6, but based off what I'm seeing, I think 7 is a pretty solid number. But if there are any more scratches or anything else that we can't see on the surface, both on the front or the back, then I'd probably knock it down another peg, probably to 6. So with those caveats, I would say 7 at most, 6 at worst. just based off of what we can and can't see for that. All right, next up, another big hitter, back to back here, is the Lugia from Neo Genesis. So I've mentioned this before, but I think it is worth repeating. So the Lugia specifically is extremely hard to grade. This also goes for pretty much every colorless type. And so the main thing that's going to be a major focus for me is this large chunk of hollow pattern. So colorless tends to be almost like scratch magnets when it comes to the hollow pattern, because the white allows for more of that scratching to pop out versus other cards. So we're going to take a look. So first, the centering on that right side looks a little bit thick. So let me just do a quick measurement here. And so again, the new standard for centering for PSA is anywhere between 55 and 45 to 50-50. So anything above that, you're kind of falling out of the 10 subgrade qualifier for centering, which anything that reduces that is going to lower your chances at getting that 10. So let's see. So the right side is 1, 2, 3, 4 tick marks on the left. Steven, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. And I already forgot how many I counted. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 on the right. So 4 on the right. And we got 4 on the right. And we got 1, 2, 3 on the left. So again, 4 divided by 7, because we do that by the total. So we're at 57. So 57.43. So we're just, so if it were the old ways, 60-40 would allow this to kind of sneak by into that range. But 57.43 is just outside of that updated centering. So technically, the centering would be kind of preventing that 10. But let's look at the rest of the card here. And let me just make sure that this is good. Perfect. Okay. Okay. Let's see. So top right corner looks good. Top left corner looks good. Corners look great. Edges look good. The one thing that I am seeing, which is fantastic, are no scratches in this hollow section. I'm not really seeing much, which is huge. The Lugia itself also looks very clean. Nothing notable on the wings or the tail or anything like that. Text looks great. So let's flip it over and hope that the same transfers to the back. And again, that centering on the front is kind of translating to the back as well. So that left side is showing its thickness compared to the right on this one. So in addition, we do have some, well, let me start with the corners here. Get a little too ahead of myself. So the top right corner looks great. Top left looks good as well. Top edge looks great. As we go on the left side here, a little bit of whitening towards the middle to left, so that will take some points away as well. Bottom corner looks good. Bottom edge looks good up until we get to more of the right side. We have a little bit of whitening there. So from what I can tell, on the back specifically, we have 1, 2 points of whitening, and then we have some centering issues on the back. Now the back is a little bit more forgiving than the front from PSA standards, but I think with those 2 points of whitening, in addition to this card being so clean, I think that this would probably get you the 8, would be a pretty solid guess, just from the centering and those 2 white marks on the left side and the bottom as well. So probably leaning more towards an 8 on that one than the 9, just from those 2. Fiend, once I'm done with this Charizard EX, I will be happy to explain, and I'll explain to everyone how to submit your cards for a future grade review. So next up is the Charizard EX. Continues to rise in popularity. So let's take a look. Centering looks good. The left side, I would imagine, Mike, you can probably confirm, because you might be probably anticipating what I'm about to ask, is that this left side almost looks as though there is a fold to it. The only reason why I say that is because this left sliver here is a little bit lighter than the rest of the border, which normally leads me to believe that there is some like folding up. which would kind of have that layer more illuminated than the bottom, if that makes sense. So check that left edge, because that left sliver is a little bit more lit up than the rest of the card. So let me flip it over on the back. And I think for this one, I think regardless, I don't think, based off what I'm seeing, I don't think that it would get the 10. Only because from my perspective, it looks like we have... And I'll first mark them, and then I'll zoom in so you guys can see a little bit better, because I know some of you guys are on mobile. So we have 1, 2, potentially 3, and potentially 4. So from what I tell, it looks to be as though we have 4 points of very, very mild whitening. So I think if that were the case, then your odds of having this get the 10 are reduced for sure. If those are, in fact, all bits of whitening on the card itself. Because the front, from what I can tell, looks okay. It's actually really well centered. The front corners look good. And then obviously I can't really tell from the surface because this card's very textured. But the back with those points of whitening, that's really the only thing that I'm most concerned with. So if those are there, the odds of that getting a 10 are not very good. Those edges on the back, those dots are there. Yeah, so I would probably say that you might get the 9, potentially an 8, but I think just because of how well centered it is, I think your subgrade is going to kind of boost you up to that potential 9. But I don't think you would get the 10 because of those 4 points of whitening. Oh, we got some leg action. All right. So Fiend. And anyone else who is wondering, if you guys want to know how to submit your cards for a future grade review, all you have to do is, if you're watching me on YouTube, my link is in the description. And if you're watching me on TikTok, my link is in my bio to my Linktree. Once you are at my Linktree, all you have to do is click or tap the Discord icon. If you are on mobile, make sure you have the Discord app installed. Otherwise, you'll get an error and you'll have some weird issues. You have to have Discord in order to submit your cards. So once you are in the server, there is a grade review channel, which you will submit your cards for a free grade review. Again, it is completely for free, but it is first come, first serve, and there is currently a limit of 5 cards per person per stream. You can submit as many as you want. However, I'll only review up to 5 per person. So if you want your cards assessed faster, because I do have a pretty large queue at the moment for non-subscribers, if you want priority grade review, like Mike is taking advantage of right now, we're currently looking at subscribers' submissions first before we go to the non-subscribers. The Discord offers a subscription starting at $4.99 a month and up, which gives you not only priority grade review, but also gives you chances to enter into weekly subscriber giveaways, there is one currently active right now to have a chance to win a gold medal promo Pikachu from the Ultra Premium Collection from Celebrations, in addition to some other cool things to help incentivize the subscription. So it's not all worthless, as Mike can probably attest to, because he's the only one that keeps submitting stuff. I have other subscribers, but he's the only one that keeps submitting. So Mike is just racking in the free goodies. So if you want to be like Mike, I would definitely appreciate the love and support. And all the money that I get just goes right back into the stream. So, all right. Next up, we have another subscriber, Jaden, looking at the Lugia V. So let us take a look. So Lugia V. First off, again, I really try to focus on the centering. So the centering on the front looks good. Texture looks fine. Nothing of note. So far, so good. Corners look great. The back also looks really good. I don't see any major issues with the corners, the top right, top left, bottom left, or bottom right. So that all seems to be good. Yeah, I legitimately think there's really not a whole lot to talk about, which is a good thing. Centering, everything looks good. If this were my Lugia V, I definitely would submit it for sure. You have definitely a good shot at a PSA 10 for that Lugia V. All right, next up, we have the non-subscribers. So let me get these queued up. And as a reminder, if you guys want to unlock this week's weekly giveaway, the goal is 15K likes on TikTok. So if you guys want to unlock that, make sure to like and share the live to help more people come in and like as well. So I appreciate all the love and support. If you guys are new here, welcome. And we are going to continue on with my Fuens. We're going to look at this Zacian V. And right off the bat, I don't think this would get the 10. Does anyone want to take a gander at why I don't think this card would get the 10? See if I'm putting anyone to sleep here. Because this one is pretty obvious, but the background, it's kind of interesting. The background almost blends in the border, which I think makes the entire card full art to an extent, which is pretty crazy. You got it, Mike. Yeah, so that top edge is pretty thick. That is for sure. Extremely thick. So this card would unfortunately have 0 chance of getting a 10 as long as you don't slip a 50 bones into your PSA submission to entice. But this one is pretty rough, to be quite honest with you. So definitely won't get the 10. It is extremely off center. Both on the front and the back. So probably like 8 at the best, to be honest, because it is so off-center on that top part. Almost really close to it being the OC subgrade, which is always really interesting for a card to be that off-center. And normally what I look for to get any of the OC qualifiers, that you'll see alignment dots in the corners where it was cut. And so if you don't see those, your chances of getting that OC subgrade are slim to none. That's kind of what I bank for if I ever submit those. Next up is the Mew EX. And so this one is, again, not going to get the 10, because one thing that I saw that is not good is we have a pretty big bend here. Or pretty big crease. And so I think that right away, just to be completely transparent, normally when I see creases like that, you are going to take a significant dip in grade. Right now, with that alone, you're like, if the rest of the card was immaculate, which I can tell that this not, you're already looking at like a 5 or lower because of that bend. And so as we kind of look around, we have some corner folds in the bottom left, corner folds in the bottom right. As we can see, this card is definitely loved. You can see that bend almost transferring over to the back, a little bit of that lightened area where that bend was. Bottom left corner whitened, bottom left, bottom right. Definitely not grade worthy, that's for sure. You're probably looking at a 4 or lower. To be quite honest with you, I'd say it's definitely probably heavy played. I think the rest of it is okay. I don't like, it's definitely heavy played to damage, but I think more on the heavy play side, but I definitely wouldn't grade this. You'd be spending, in my opinion, you'd be spending more on grading it than any return that you'd get. Unless you have some sentimental value to it, then that's really the only reason why you'd probably grade it. And once I am done with this Pikachu, I will definitely let you know how to submit. So, appreciate you being patient with me, and let's continue on. So this Pikachu, it seems like the name of the game today is centering for these modern cards specifically. So this right side looks a little bit thicker, but again, just to kind of show you guys what to look for when you are centering your cards. And it's so funny. I had a video back in 2022 about the centering tool that I, for whatever reason, still get comments and views on YouTube. That thing is over 2 years old, and people are like, you know what, the PSA updated, right? Yes, brother. That video was posted literally 2 years ago. But anyway, so this is how I normally do it now. So I'll take a ruler and put it over the card in a sleeve, of course, and I'll just measure. So in this instance, again, we're going to be measuring on the right side. So from the inch mark, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5.5 on that right side. And on the left, got 1, 2, 3, 4. So 5.5 to 4. So 5.5, 4, so 9.5. So we're gonna do 5.5 divided by 9.5. So roughly 58. So roughly 58 to 42. So 58-42 ratio. So unfortunately, this card is off-center to the point where it no longer meets the current PSA centering requirements from the 58 being on the right side, which equates to the right side being thicker than the left, which is making that centering subgrade go down to at least a 9 or an 8. So aside from that, the surface looks good. I mean, the texturing makes it a little bit tricky to kind of really pinpoint. But aside from that, the back looks okay. Now, one thing I think is always worth mentioning, because it seems like people have a misconception of this. So if you guys can see these bits of dirt or fuzzies or whatever you want to call them on the back. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So all those are most likely things that were probably stuck onto the card for whatever reason. And so I always recommend wiping those off, because if you do not wipe those off, PSA will not do it for you. They're not your parents. They're not going to wipe them off for you, which in turn is going to decrease your surface subgrade. So you want to not give them any reason to dock you any unnecessary points. So make sure to wipe those off with like a microfiber cloth, or if they're really kind of stuck on there, I use the distilled water and a Q-tip. Very gently kind of rub those off. It's not considered alterations. Oh yes, you're right, zombies. Plague, how's it going? Long time no see, my friend. But aside from that, I'd probably wipe those off. But I think you probably won't get the 10 because of the centering on the right side. You'll probably get the 9. But again, centering is always what gets people from modern. So it's always unfortunate. But zombies, I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. Again, if you guys are new here, definitely let yourself be known. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions on what I'm doing tonight. We do this every Wednesday. What this is called Grade Review, where members of the community will submit their cards in our Discord to get a free assessment on what I think their cards would get as a PSA grade, to kind of help determine whether or not it's worth, you know, investing the money into getting these cards submitted. How does crooked centering affect the grade? It definitely would, but it's really hard to pinpoint ratio. It's really kind of eye appeal. So if you can see it, they can see it, and they'll probably dock that from some degree of probably centering or surface. I'm not too sure. But there's really no like hard, steadfast rule specifically. I keep forgetting to send the picture of my cards. Well, now's your chance, Cruisin'. Logan, thank you for the follow. And Logan, I will, along with other people, if you guys are wondering how to submit your cards, like Say Goodbye, which we're actually going to be reviewing some pretty big cards. We're about to look at a Korokoro Mew, Mewtwo Gold Star, and another Lugia, the second Lugia of the night. So if you guys want your cards reviewed in a future giveaway, in a future grade review, all you have to do is, if you're watching me on YouTube, the link is in the description. If you're watching me on TikTok, the link is in the bio. You clicked on the link tree. Once you're here, you're just going to click or tap the Discord icon. If you're on mobile, make sure to have Discord installed. Otherwise, the link will forward you to a weird place, meaning that you'll have to download the app and whatnot. So once you're at the Discord, you'll see a grade review channel. You'll just submit your cards in there. Make sure to read the rules on how to properly submit. Otherwise, I will not be able to review your cards. For example, if they're in sleeves or a top loader, I can't review them because I won't know if the scratch is on the top loader or sleeve, and it just makes it difficult. So just make sure to view the rules, pin messages, and you'll be okay. Again, this is completely free, but it is first come, first serve, with a minimum of 5 cards reviewed per person per stream. So you can submit as many as you want, but I'll only review up to 5 per person per week. And the queue currently, to add additional transparency, because I know a lot of people ask, and I've been starting to keep track. So right now, we are roughly in mid-February for non-subscribers. So that's how far back we are in the current queue. However, if you want priority, which a few members have already taken advantage of tonight, the Discord server offers subscriptions starting at $4.99 a month, which gives you not only priority grade review each week, but it also gives you entries into monthly giveaways. There's actually one currently going on right now that starts at the beginning of each month. And this month, you can enter to win a gold metal Pikachu promo from the Ultra Premium Collection. Again, that's for subscribers only. And so it gives some incentive. So that's how you do it. Yes, unfortunately, for right now at least, because the giveaways makes it hard because how much it costs to send to Canada at the moment. So it definitely cuts in a little bit. So it's unfortunate. I wish it wasn't the case, but those are the times we live in. Unfortunately, it costs a lot to send some of this stuff over. All the rules and suggestions, if you go to the pinned messages of the grade review. But to answer your question quickly, anything black. Black backgrounds tend to be the best because you can see corner whitening a lot easier. All right, so let's continue on here with Say Goodbye. So probably my favorite Mew. I've mentioned this every time I look at this card. Is easily one of my favorite Mew artworks of all time. So let's take a look. So centering looks a little bit thicker on the right than the left, but just to kind of keep reiterating, we'll just do a quick measurement here. So the right side, and again, this is what I now recommend. I kind of pivoted back and forth. I recommend using a ruler if you're really trying to do centering, because the centering tools tend to be a little bit difficult at times, but if you really want to be as accurate as possible, use a ruler with millimeter markers. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 on the right, and we have 1, 2, 3.5 on the left. So we're good. It's a little off center, but you're definitely within the 55-45 range for sure. Jay, thank you for liking the live. Appreciate you. Corners look okay. There might be a little bit of a lip on the bottom left, but we'll probably see something translate to the back. But aside from that, from this angle specifically, I'm not seeing any scratches. I see probably a little bit of something on that black stroke layer of the tail, right where the tip of my mouse is. But aside from that, I'm not seeing any major scratches from this angle. So based off what we're seeing, so far so good. So let's flip it over. And the back is okay. The top right corner is okay. Top left corner is good. Top edge is good. But as again, I mentioned this in the previous card, but make sure to clean off these little bits of dust on the sides here. So this, right where I'm kind of circling my mouse towards this bottom left edge. This on the surface, I'm not too sure if you can get rid of that, but a lot of these little white specks make me believe that they're just simply stuck on there, that you can just simply wipe them off with a microfiber towel. So I'm not going to be pressed too hard on that. So I think, and let's see. So again, if you guys want to unlock the ability for chat grading, and right now we're at 9 viewers on TikTok. If we hit 15 concurrent viewers on TikTok and YouTube combined, you guys will unlock chat grade. So if you guys want to help me out by liking and sharing the live, definitely appreciate that. So I want to get you guys involved as well. But as we wait for that, we're going to continue on. So I'd say that we can probably wipe off these little bits of white on the back pretty easily from what I can tell. The centering is okay. It's within the range. Ryan Gann, thank you for following. Appreciate that. Rod, welcome. So corners look good. Surface looks good. It's really just the back. I think if we can just wipe some of this stuff off, there's a little bit of some whitening possibly on the side, but since it's kind of curved a little bit, it does appear that it might just be the cardstock. So I'm not too sure if it's the cardstock in the middle or that is whitening, but we'll have to kind of keep that into consideration. But I'd say if you can get rid of everything, you're probably looking at anywhere from like an 8 to a 9, to be quite honest with you, because I don't see any scratches. And the centering is within the range. But if you can't get rid of some of this stuff, you're probably looking at like an 8 would be my guess. So definitely try your best to try to get rid of all those obvious white marks And I'm not too sure about this right side. It could be the middle cardstock, just because of the picture, how it's being taken. But if you can get rid of this stuff, even better. If not, then you're probably looking at an 8. Thank you, Arian. All right, next up, we have the Mewtwo Gold Star. So, again, well-centered on this one as well. Let me just zoom out just a tad so you guys can see the whole card. So, looks to be well-centered. Corners look great. Hollow looks good. Nothing kind of making my job pretty easy here. The back, however, we got some issues. So, on all 4 edges, we have some degree of whitening. So, all this on the left side, all this on the bottom. Let me try to scroll down just a tad so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So all this whitening on the bottom edge and all on the right side. So we're already kind of out of like the 8 or higher. So we're kind of looking 7 or lower here. 7 being the most optimal. But the front looks immaculate from what we can tell. But judging by how the back looks, the odds of the front being in equal condition are a little bit higher in terms of the scratches and all that fun stuff. So, yeah, the whitening is a problem for sure. So let's see. So we have 9 viewers, so we're gonna keep moving on. So I'd probably lean more towards like a 7 or a 6. Because really, like, the only reason why I'm kind of leaning more towards a 6 is because if we're seeing this significant amount of whitening on the left side, bottom, and right side, then the chances of something going on the front are a little bit higher, but I can't really make that as like a full-on determination. Because, again, we can only judge the card based on how the pictures are taken. We do have a little bit of a scratch, I guess, underneath, possibly a scratch, but underneath the arm there. But yeah, I'd probably lean more towards like that near mint light play range, so 7 or a 6. It's kind of on the fence, to be quite honest with you. So I'd probably leave that on the fence because there's probably something going on the front. So if there is, I'd probably lean it more towards the 6 than the 7. But if there isn't, then I'd lean it more towards the 7 than the 6. But somewhere within that range for sure. All right, next up, the Lugia. The second Lugia of the night. Normally, it's the Charizards are running rampant, but right now it's Lugia. Centering on this is actually really good. Front, like the Mewtwo and the Mew look great. It's really the back that I'm worried about at this point. Let's see. So I always look for this really kind of risky area of the Lugia as always, and I'm going to highlight some of these potential scratches that I see. So I'll kind of just fill them in almost. So one, I'm going to kind of exaggerate them a tad bit just so you guys can see them a little bit better on stream. So those are the 2 that I see the most predominant, but they're really not that bad. Those are pretty much the length of them. So hopefully it doesn't translate to the back. And it doesn't, which is really good. So the back of this Lugia is actually in pretty good shape. Well centered within the range of what we're looking for. So the left side's a little bit thicker, but on the back it's a little bit more lenient than the front. So that's why I'm not too worried about that. Top right corner looking okay. Top left corner looking good. Bottom left corner looking okay. Bottom right looking good. Front looks good. This bottom left side looks good. Yeah, I mean, I'd probably say with the scratches, I mean, I'd probably be more safer just because I can see them. You're probably looking at an 8 at the best. But I don't really see much going on other than that, to be quite honest with you. It looks really clean, maybe a little bit of whitening on this right side, but I think that's really not a whole lot. I think it's probably just fuzz, to be quite honest with you. So yeah, I'd probably give that an 8, to be quite honest. I think it's a really good shot at an 8. I think for vintage, my kind of baseline for vintage is always, if it's an 8 or higher, I always just submit it. It's just kind of my rule of thumb. But yeah. All right. So next up, we have the Mew EX. And like I said before, to guys give you a good shot, we do have a giveaway that is unlocked once we hit 15K likes on TikTok. So if you guys want to unlock the free giveaway, definitely like the live and share it if you don't mind. Helps me out, spread throughout the algorithm, because that's what the algorithm loves, is to see shares and likes and all that fun stuff. So definitely appreciate that. If anyone has followed, I didn't shout you out, appreciate that as well. So let's continue on with the Mew EX. The big hitter from Paldean Fates. So let's take a look. Centering looks good. Corners look okay based off what we're seeing on the picture. And centering looks good on the back. And again, it's really the corners that I'm always the most nervous about for Modern. And I don't see any. It's a little bit, the camera, like once we start to zoom in on this one, the camera is a little bit fuzzy here. But I think we have enough to kind of work with. And I think we should be good on this one. So unless there's something I can't see just from the overall print or picture quality, I think this probably would be a good shot out of 10. I don't see anything obvious with the corners. So that one would be a good one to submit if it were mine. I would definitely submit that for sure. So while we load up the next one, I'm just going to go run to the bathroom real quick. So again, appreciate you guys hanging out with me tonight, and I'll be right back. All right, I am back. Who won the giveaway? Do you want to take a guess, Apple? Do you want to take a guess on who won? The luckiest man in the chat. All right. So next up is Flux. You are correct, Apple. You won again. All right, so Flux. We got 1, 2, 3. Put the 5 there. Boom, 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 boom. All right. So let's take a look. So first up is Melanie. So centering looks good on the left and right, but the bottom I am worried about a tad. So I know with the supporters and the trainers, this top part kind of counts a little bit for being pushed outside of the standard area. But that bottom is pretty thick, and the best way for us to tell in this situation is going to be turning it around rather, and seeing if it transfers over to the back. And it does not. But the corners are good on this one on the back. The only thing that I would be worried about really would just be the thickness of the bottom compared to the top. You might be able to kind of squeak by. So if it's kind of like a lower submission. So if you had to, meet like a minimum requirement or whatever. But my gut says that this is a little bit too off center, even with the supporter trainer banner overflowing the edge there. But the rest of the card, very well centered on the back. Corners look great. Surface looks great. So that's more of this. I would say this is more of kind of like a gamble 10. Because you really can't measure with full accuracy, the centering on the top to the bottom. But I would kind of call it a gambler's 10. It's the best way I can kind of explain it. All right, next up, the second Pikachu from Crown. Centering looks great on this one. Top, bottom, left, right looks fantastic. Corners look great. Edges look great. I don't see anything wrong or many major issues with the texture on the front. The centering on the back, however, is a little bit thicker on that right side than the left, but you're definitely, I don't even need to measure, you're definitely within the range if they are going to hold up to that kind of 75-25. And just to kind of give you an exact number here, just from the ruler's perspective. So if we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the right, and we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the left. So we do 6 divided by 11, and you're at 55. So you're just like on that edge on the back. If it was on the front, you'd be right there, but the back you have even more leniency. So you're definitely good on that. Corners look great. Again, I would probably just make sure that you don't have anything stuck in the back. For example, I see a little bit of whitening here stuck on the surface near the corner, but that might just be the lighting and like kind of the dimples of the cardstock. But just make sure to wipe it down with the microfiber, because especially on the front with these textures, there might be something stuck on there. So I'll just kind of do a really quick pass through. You should be fine. And then the Zeraora. Centering looks okay. Top, bottom, left to right. I'm just kind of based on perspective. So top, bottom, left, right. That looks good. Don't see any major issues there. Centering on this one also looks really good. Top corners, bottom corners look fantastic. The only thing I'd probably just double check in terms of a surface perspective is that there might be something here. So like right in this section, I'm kind of highlighting it with the pen here. So hopefully you can see that on stream, but somewhere in that range, there's a little bit what appears to be almost like a surface scratch. So they might ding you on that. So if you got like a 9 or an 8, that might be why. So, but I'll just double check that in person. Additionally, you have a little bit of whitening here, but you can probably just wipe that off as well. Let's see. Maverick, once I'm done with Flux's submission, I'll definitely let you know. Unless one of the moderators wants to help me out. But yeah, I'd probably check that. So with that, if that is a scratch, you're probably looking at a 9 or an 8, depending on how severe it is in person. But if it's not, then it did look well centered. Didn't really see anything wrong specifically. So it's all good, Apple. So next up, the Venusaur EX. So hopefully you can take a look at that, Air. Okay, so this one looks very well centered. Top, bottom, left, right look good for the Venusaur. Corners look good. The only thing that I'm seeing so far, but I don't know, again, you'll have to kind of check some of this stuff in person, is we have a little bit of what appears to be either texture or like a kind of a ding on the side here. It might just be lighting. But let's see. And on the back, again, some more fuzzies, some potential whitening on that top right corner, and some on that top left. In addition, we have some fuzz stuck on the left there, and possibly some whitening on the bottom right. So I'd say if you have at least 2 points of whitening on the back, even at this kind of severity, you're probably looking at a 9. Because other than that, the card looks pretty good. Just double check to see if this is an indent, because sometimes the texturing kind of goes over the edge there, and then especially with the light source coming on the right side, it might make it appear worse than it is, just based off the picture. But additionally, just check the top right, top left, and bottom right. If there are at least 2 points of whitening on either of those, then you're probably docked down to a 9. In addition, you have some here. If this is actually ink removed, you're already kind of getting yourself out of that 10 for that reason. But that looks like you probably wipe that off. But If all those aren't factors, then you're probably looking at a 10, but if they are, then you're probably looking at a 9. And then finally, the Deoxys. It's ink removed. Yeah, so I'd probably say you're looking at a 9, if that's the case. Okay, so centering on this looks good. And for context, if anyone ever wonders where to measure centering on these VMAXs, I always look at just this solid white section on the left and the right. So right where I just kind of highlighted with the pen there is normally where I look. And as we flip it over, yeah, no issues on the corners. Edges look good. Surface looks okay. Texture looks fine. I think this one is probably a pretty good 10 contender. From what I can see, there's nothing majorly wrong. So that one would be a pretty good one, if I do say so myself. So yeah, hopefully that helped you out. All right, next up is Shaman EX, submitted by Guad. So let's take a look. Thank you for your submission. Thank you for being so patient too. I know that was a while. That was back in almost the beginning of February, almost 2 months. So I definitely appreciate you being so patient with me. All right, so let's take a look at this Shaman EX. So the centering looks okay. Due to the shadow, it's kind of hard for us to see any major scratches, but aside from that, it looks okay. And in terms of the back, centering looks good. Maybe a little bit of whitening on that top left corner, but again, a little bit hard to see. Again, that's why, like, I don't mind reviewing these, but if you guys really want the best assessment possible, make sure to have it on a black background. Because I can only really work with what I got here. So I'd probably say, based off of what I'm looking at from the pictures in the front and the back, looks well centered. The back surface looks good, so I'm assuming the front would look good as well. You do have a little bit of whitening though on the top left-hand corner, so depending on severity, you're probably looking at a 10 or a 9. Leaning more towards the 9 since there is some unknowns here with the surface of the Shaman. So kind of keep that in mind. So your range is anywhere from like an 8 to a 10. Because that whitening, I've seen some that has been as mild as that, with everything being flawless. Other than that, getting a 10 on other cards. So that's why I'm kind of keeping it more or less kind of wide open. So that's kind of where that assessment's coming into play. All right, next up is the Persian from Killa. This card was kind of going all over the place during the IR/SIR boom. Now that's started to cool off a little bit. Centering on the Persian looks great. A little bit of fuzz here by the chest, but aside from that, pretty okay. And the back looks pretty good. Maybe a little bit of whitening there on the top right. And then as I'm kind of going across here, looks to be good. I don't see anything majorly wrong. Really, the only thing that I can see is, since I'm kind of needing to zoom in so close, it's hard for me to really pinpoint some of the whitening on this left edge, especially since how illuminated it is. But if there isn't any whitening, it's very well centered. The corners look great, aside from probably that top right and maybe top left. But just kind of take note of that. But if those aren't really anything worth noting, you got a pretty good 10 contender on your hands. So definitely good. I think that should be a pretty solid submission if that kind of goes through, kind of clears through. So yeah. So let me just shift over here. So yeah, guys, that's episode 61 in the books. So I'm going to, I know I normally go towards like 9, but oh, thank you for subscribing, Aaron. I just want to make you aware though, that the subscriptions for the priority, if that's what you're going for, are on Discord only. I think I made that apparent for the Discord subscription. I do appreciate it. I want to just make sure that you're aware that if that's what you're going for, then it's over on Discord. So just want to put that out there. I definitely appreciate it. I want to make sure that you don't think I don't. And you can use the emotes, which is kind of cool. But at least you can use the emotes in TikTok. You'll probably be the first one to use it. But I definitely appreciate it though. Thank you so much thank you for the subscription. The only reason why, just to kind of add some context with the TikTok ban kind of going back and forth, the giveaway tool that I use no longer supports TikTok integration. So that's why unfortunately it doesn't work as much as just having it over on Discord. But I appreciate it. And you can use Eve emotes, which is really cool. So just to kind of give you guys some updates on what I'm going to be doing and what I'm working on, that's why I kind of have to cut tonight a little bit shorter, is I'm going to be developing a little bit more of, hey, there you go, PSA 10, baby. There you go. That's so cool. I think you're the first person that's actually used those emotes, from what I can tell. Or second. That's sick, though. If you guys want to use TikTok emotes, make sure to subscribe like Aaron does. You can use my mascot Eve. So yeah. So one of the things that I'm going to be working on is I want to try to make these nights have a little bit more variety. So I'm going to be templating some like schedules within the session. Which means that the streams will go a little bit longer, but add a little bit more variety. Just to kind of keep me awake, to be quite honest with you. Just to add some variety other than just grade review. I love doing grade review, don't get me wrong, but it's kind of nice to have like a chance to talk with chat a little bit more and play some games. Like I've been really enjoying Pokemon Pocket, so I think I want to try to add that as a consistent scheduled, I guess, source of content. I don't know how else to explain it. But I'm going to be scheduling out what that looks like, and I'll probably bake that into when I make my announcements on what the schedule is going to look like, just to make it a little bit more engaging, and add a little bit more variety, such as talking about topics or opening up the discussion on what you guys want me to talk about in next week and stuff like that. So that's my goal moving forward, is just to try to add more consistency and variety to the grade reviews, because this is like really the time that I schedule streams specifically, and I want to make it so that it's a wide enough range of different things going on. So I'm going to be editing some more video, as I have a vendor POV coming out soon that I'm probably going to edit once this stream is over. Kind of keep that moving and going from there. So yeah, grade review episode 61 in the books. I definitely appreciate all the new subs. Aaron, thank you so much for subscribing. It definitely does mean a lot, regardless of where you've done it from. I definitely appreciate it, and your patience. And if you have more cards, I'd love to see them. And yeah, you guys are the best. Next week, episode 62. Hopefully, if I still need time, I'll probably, again, this one POV is taking forever to edit. That's why I've been having to cancel Monday streams just to edit. It's just because it's just me. It's just me that edits the videos, so that's why it's taking me so long. But hopefully, if it's done, I'll be streaming on Monday. Actually, no, I will be streaming on Monday because someone submitted a card cleaning service. So I'll be cleaning cards on Monday, in addition to some other cool stuff. So yeah, I'll be streaming on Monday. Streaming again on Wednesday, episode 62. For those of you who are playing Pokemon Pocket Rank, good luck. It's been nothing but Giratina Darkrai. So, appreciate you guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.